Hey all, it's Yolantha from Homeschool Creations. I haven't done a video update, if you will, in a little bit, and so I thought I might do one this week because A, I am light on the pictures, and B, I miss doing them because I kind of like being able to chat, and where I realize we aren't sitting down actually like talking face to face, but it kind of makes me feel a little bit more like we're having a conversation and you can hear my voice and kind of my tone of voice, because I think that makes a whole lot of difference when you're trying to read somebody or talk to them and have a conversation with them. So anyway, our week in a nutshell has been fairly back to normal, but a little bit crazy. Caleb's been not feeling super great this week. There's like just junk going around. So he's had a lot of sniffles, which one of my friends had mentioned that they thought, with the whole reading thing, that teaching a child to read can be really hard and sometimes painfully slow. I will attest to that. There may have been times that I have fallen asleep when Caleb or any of the other kids have been reading to me. Still happens sometimes, like if I'm just tired and it's just going slow. But even slower than that is when your child has a really stuffy nose and they have to like go blow their nose after every 2 sentences and you just want to be done already with it. But all that to say, this has been a really great week with him reading. It's kind of like, sometimes I feel like we're really doing well and we're making progress, and then there are other days when I literally just feel like I need to cry. But today was again one of those high days, and I feel it's really important to note those because it's easy to get stuck in when you feel your child might be behind or know they're behind or struggling or whatever it is, and then it's easy to forget about the minutes and the times, the little moments when they're doing better and when they really are having breakthroughs. So today we sat down, we decided one of the things that we've been doing this week while he's been reading off and on. He finished the Martin Luther King, one of the Who Was Martin Luther King Jr. books. He's been reading that to me. And it's hilarious because he'll pick out words and totally be fine reading some things and then struggling with just some of the simpler, like some of the words that you're like, if you can read the word segregation, how are you having problems with this one? So we've gone back, and what I've been doing is going back to All About Reading Level 3. And we're kind of covering the last half of the book. So we're covering, because what he's been struggling with more especially is really breaking down words, like when the words get a little bit larger, really breaking down the words and being able to kind of chunk them out. So like the word prefix, for example. I'm giving you an example. So to understand and to quickly break apart that little chunk of the word. So at any rate, we've been going back to level 3 of All About Reading, the second part in the second book, and just really trying to build up his confidence. And so today, when he read one of the stories, and breezed through it. And again, I know a lot of it depends for him. Where we really struggle is with attitude. If we go into it with a good attitude, or he goes into it with a good attitude, and not as much frustration, that it just goes a little more smoothly. So sometimes it's trying to read his mood and figure out, is this a good time for us to do reading, or because it's not something he necessarily wants to do, and I understand that, but it's something that we really need to do and work on. Again, I really think too, one of the other programs that we're using with him is Nancy Larson Science 4, and that's been great because he loves science. And the way the program is set up to have him read along, and then to have him read every other paragraph. So he's picking up a lot of different words that, that normally wouldn't be, but, he's recognizing them because of the context of what they're in, and learning different study skills along with it too. So, but a little funny story to go along with the reading. I told him, I said, when we get through, we're reading like one story, one of the All About Reading stories, we're reviewing the little word chunks and the word cards and everything as we're going back through level 3, just to really make sure that he's got this stuff down. And I said, 9 days and you're going to be done. And so I said, let's just celebrate by, maybe you can go out to eat. And his big place that he is all excited about now going out to eat is the wood grill or wood fire grill or whatever it is. Kind of like a, yeah, I can't even think right now. Golden Corral kind of like type place. So Wood Grill buffet, he wants to go there. So I asked him, I said, so who do you want me to take you? Do you want Daddy to take you? He's like, well, I think I want Dad to take me because he eats a lot more. So it would really be a much better deal if he takes me rather than you do, because he'd eat more. So we'd get more for our money. So I'm like, okay, even though I've been the one sitting here reading with him, it's really okay. I'm fine with that. I'm just happy with that. So yeah, so that's been kind of like one of the highs with that. Zachary's already finished his science for the year, so yay. So we're going to pick up vocabulary with him for the rest of the year, and then and work on that program more in depth, the word up vocabulary. And then with McKenna, I'm also looking at, after one of Loriana's classes, I think I mentioned last week that Loriana, we dropped her English 112 class because it was just, it was a little crazy. Her teacher had mentioned in class that that even though the syllabus was given, that the syllabus would change multiple times throughout the semester, which I understand some things changing. Please don't get me wrong with that, things change and they're flexible. But when she's at the college level and not knowing, because she's working usually about 2 to 3 days a week, lifeguarding. So with that, like, her teacher gave an assignment for a 700-word paper on Thursday that was not on the syllabus, that was due Sunday. And Loriana had to work Friday all day and Saturday all day. And then Sunday she had to be at church early because she was leading worship. And then by the time she would have gotten home would have been around 1:30 or so, and then had to be back at church at 4. So she wouldn't have had a lot of time those days to even work on the paper. And one of the things that they have been focusing on in this, in her English 112 class that they had started, was poetry. And we really did not, that was kind of one area that I did not do a lot of with Loriana. So I am going to be ordering this week from Compass Classroom. They have a poetry that's it would be about half a high school credit is what they have it for. So I'm going to be getting that to look at, to do with McKenna, and probably one of her friends too, because it's just, it's a fairly, yeah. At any rate, we're gonna look at that and probably do that and do that along with our literature program. And one of the great things that I love too, that sometimes you forget about homeschooling because we think calendar year and that everything has to be done within a certain time frame, like we start in September, is that we have the flexibility with some of these credits to kind of carry them over from year to year. And the way that I've been setting up Loriana's transcript is I actually have not been setting it up by grade level because of the way some of her credits are, because she's got so many credits, especially like this junior year and what she'll have next year for her senior year. And I've been setting it up by subjects. And so it doesn't necessarily say what grade she completed it in. And I'll see if I can post an example of kind of how we've laid out her transcript and do that for you guys. Maybe I can put that in, I'll try to put that in the post below, how we're laying it out at this point. But at any rate, with that, I was thinking, we can start this poetry, and even if we don't necessarily finish it this year, we can work on it a little bit more next year with McKenna too. And if Loriana wants to take it right now before she even takes 112, then we might do that. But I'm not really too worried about it because Loriana kind of has all of her credits in a row. So that's pretty much it. Oh, the other thing that I wrote in the title I didn't mention is Caleb is spending Friday at a private school. Not because we're sending him anywhere, but he has a friend that he met on swim team and that we've gotten to know a lot better over this last year. Really sweet family, who the mom is a teacher there, and the son, they have like a bring a friend to school day. So he asked if Caleb could come with him, and Caleb decided he wanted to go. So we're going to send him. But I kind of have one of the fun things about it is the boy he's going with is actually going to be homeschooled next year. So kind of funny. And Caleb is not going to private school, but at this point we're going to be, it'll just be, I think, a good to kind of reminder for Caleb, because we have to be out the door by 7 tomorrow morning, and he has to be wearing a specific type of clothing and going through this whole thing, because Caleb gets really worked up if we're not done with his schoolwork by about 1. And so he's going to be at school until 3 tomorrow. So I'm sure it's going to be a fun little reminder of, hey, remember that day when you got to get up really early and you had to go to school and leave at 7? And, kind of a good reminder for him that that homeschool's a blessing, that we have a lot of benefits to homeschooling too. Zachary was even talking with me about that today and commenting about that. So at any rate, that's all for this week, I think, that's going on. So the quick sum up is Caleb was a little sick this week. We're probably going to be starting a new class with McKenna, and I sent my kid to private school for a day, but that's it. I hope your week was well too, and love to hear from you. So leave a comment, or leave a comment on the video, or leave a comment on the post, and love to chat with you more. Have a good day.